Everyone, welcome back to the channel. I got a couple passes out here and the camera shut off, and I don't know, someday I'm going to have to get myself set up in a more professional way, perhaps do something, in the environment. Anyhow, so for her the read we got here, I am looking at this Hierophant here as the Most High God. He's here in regards this soul contract of a emperor reversed, challenged by this commitment. So he's looking at this commitment of this emperor reversed. He lacks discipline, he's controlling, he's a dominator, he's rigid, he's stubborn, a tyrant, and he's reckless. Okay, he is looking at the contract of this dominator, this Two of Cups, right? This dominator wants to reconcile. He has a desire to reconcile, and this Hierophant has disagreements here because there's no, well, okay, in the recent past, you've got the Wheel of Fortune here. The wheel has turned, the wheel of destiny, and they cannot sabotage the Empress. Okay, because there's a divorce here. The secrets are all out. There's a new beginning. This Emperor reversed wants to mend the connection with the Empress because he's afraid of what people are going to say. He made a lot of mistakes and he can't right these wrongs. He can't. He is daydreaming and in an illusion because he missed his opportunity with this Empress. He made up lies. He was in a commitment with this Empress and he made up lies. I believe he said that she was unfaithful because we've got chemistry here in the reverse, but you've got the Hermit here shining a light on things. So there was never any passion. She never was unfaithful. She never did that. She didn't do what this creepazoid said she did. She's weary. She's been fighting for her life. She's not guilty. She didn't do anything. This liar, this tyrant, lied. And then tried to take her out. This Empress, who is here standing, and he is unworthy of her, divorced, cut off. On the bottom of the deck, we've got competition, clashing of petty egos, and we've got this page here with a love cup, okay? So the Queen of Cups is here looking at the truth. She's compassionate, calm, and caring. She's looking at the truth of this situation, and she can see very clearly that this person is trying to get away with fraud because they're in trauma and despair, trying to gain a new contract because the wheel has turned, the cycle has closed, and they're facing a Five of Pentacles. So just be very, and a Ten of Wands. So just be very leery of who it is that you're permitting into your space right now, because you've got some people who are trying to escape their karma. Whoever was working with this Emperor reversed to try to take out this Empress, they're feeling broken and shattered. They don't know what to do. They're reminiscing about all the jokes they were telling while they were hurting her. Yeah, whoever these egoic, prideful helpers were trying to steal the Empress's destiny. They've got habits and they want to run. They weren't expecting her to love herself and to heal. And they're feeling overwhelmed and shattered because she's coming into a soul tie, a reunion. Okay, they caused a lot of damage, but she survived. And the Hierophant here, the Most High God, is here shining a light on this situation. It's like, oh, so you say that she was unfaithful? You say that she was out being a trollop and effing the whole wide world? Oh, let's see. Let's shine a light on that. Oh, I see. She's not guilty. Oh, there was none of that. There was none of that going on. You, Emperor reversed, are unworthy of that Empress and a commitment with her. And you cannot sabotage her new cycle, her new life. You cannot sabotage that. The Most High God is here watching you. And who knows what else. Let's see. Let's clarify. So this Emperor reverse lied on that Empress. And she's there. She's right there. And he's unworthy of her. Unworthy. And I'll say it. Yeah, I'll repeat that. I'll repeat that. They lied. They're having revenge remorse. They're in regret for trying to destroy. They're under judgment. They're under judgment. And that's the only reason they're in regret. Is because the Hierophant's here and he knows the truth. This person lied on an Empress and then tried to destroy her. Tried to let his little hoe bag steal her destiny. They were not successful. Okay. This relationship, so these contracts are for relationships that serve the higher good. They're about love, okay? And the Hierophant, the Most High God himself, is here in regard these unions, these relationships. We've got success in the reverse. Whoever this Emperor is not successful, was not successful in this soul contract. They don't know that there's no greater goal than to love. The Hierophant is here challenged by this union, by this marriage that's connecting this Emperor reversed to the Empress. So he's dealing with that right now. The Emperor reversed is like, oh, I want to reconcile. And it doesn't matter what this Emperor reversed wants. What he wants doesn't matter. Denied. This envious person is denied. This envious person is denied this commitment, a commitment. This envious person is denied a commitment with this Empress. The Most High God is here himself in this regard. And this Emperor reverse is having a disagreement about that. He's like, oh, I want to reconcile. I want to have a relationship. This evil person wants to destroy her, and he couldn't. And now he wants another shot at it, and he's trying to convince God. He wants to convince the Most High how he deserves another chance to destroy this Empress with all his girlfriends here. There's something wrong with this person's mind. There's something wrong. Perseverance in the reverse. No. They want to reconcile. It's like, no, this relationship isn't going to persevere. It's over. The Wheel of Fortune has turned. It's the cycle of destiny. And this Emperor reversed won't be sabotaging, could not sabotage this Empress. Could not sabotage the Empress. Their secrets are out and they're getting divorced. They tried so hard to sabotage this Empress. They're unworthy. They want forgiveness. This Empress deserves love, and she deserves a relationship that is for her higher good. This soul contract. The Hierophant's here to make sure that she gets that. And this Emperor is not that. He is so far to the bottom half of the spectrum. He's a failure, and he failed to sabotage this Empress. He can't be trusted. He's out of balance, and he doesn't get forgiveness. He's divorced. He's cut off. He's a betrayer. He's not loyal. All he brings to anybody is pain. His secrets are out. The secrets are out. Gosh, man. They're a liar. They don't look at the lighter side of life. They're very dark. And they have no patience. And they target those who have gifts of the soul that benefit others. And that's what he did. He targeted this Empress because she had gifts of the soul that benefit others, and then he proceeded to try to sabotage her. He's worried. He wants to mend the connection. He's afraid of what people are going to think. He made a lot of mistakes, wishes he could right his wrongs, but he does not. He's in an Emperor reversed. He doesn't wish he could right his wrongs. The Empress gets a new beginning. She's innocent. She's innocent. Not guilty. Not guilty. She was not a hoe bag. She didn't do what these people accused her of. She didn't do what they were doing. What they were doing and saying she was doing, she didn't do. She's very disciplined. She can accomplish what she sets her mind to. These ones are daydreaming, wishful thinking. They miss their opportunity with this Empress. They tried to spin a story on her. They tried to spin a story. They tried to spin a story saying that this was her, but it's not. This is her. She's not a floozy. She didn't take part in third-party situations. She's not guilty of that. And she has put up with a lot of abuse. A lot of abuse. That she did not deserve. Most High God can see that. And this commitment is denied to this envious tyrant. They didn't persevere through anything. They didn't help this Empress persevere through anything. They didn't have to persevere through anything. They did not go through an initiation. They wanted to take credit for the Empress's trials, tribulations, challenges, and overcoming her persevering. They wanted to take credit for that, but they weren't able to sabotage her. They weren't able to sabotage her. There's no acceptance here. No acceptance. They missed their opportunity. They're wishful thinking about it. There's no acceptance. None. No consideration at all. Not even the bare minimum. Not even an iota. So this Empress is here in a Nine of Wands energy, persistent, courageous, not guilty. And not lonely. She's not alone. The Hermit's here shining a light on the truth of this matter. There was no chemistry. There was no passion. There was no sexual discretions with this Empress. She was faithful. She was true. She was nurturing. While they were doing this to her, she was nurturing them. She was honoring her commitments. Grief. They're in grief because it is seen she's not a whore. She's not a floozy. They lied. They lied and said that she was unworthy, but it was they who are unworthy of this Empress. They're unworthy. They don't have a life of gratitude. They don't look on the lighter side of life. They're not thankful for anything. They're unworthy of this Empress. They were unworthy of what she provided, and they weren't thankful for anything that she provided. She's very courageous through this adversity. Collective energy, please, Spirit. Collective energy. Collective energy, please, Spirit. Collective energy. So the Most High God is here regarding a soul contract that this Emperor reverse wants. This person is not successful. The soul contract is for relationships that serve the higher good, that are committed to love and seeing the good in all things. This Emperor reverse is a dominator tyrant, and he is being denied this commitment because he's envious. He has no love in him. The Hierophant himself is like, no. We got message in the reverse and then message of concern in the upright. It's like false messages. This Emperor had been sending to the Hierophant false messages. And the Hierophant knows that they were lies and is sending out, hey, I see that you have no love in you. So the Hierophant knows and has let this person know that he's aware that the messages, that all the communications that he had been receiving regarding this Empress were false. They were false messages. They were false messages of concern. This person, this Empress, is committed to higher relationships, to love, to her contracts, to honoring her commitments. She's very disciplined. And they painted her, they said that she was a prostitute. They said that she was out sleeping around with everybody in town, and she wasn't. He had a whole bunch of third parties that were doing that, dressing up in her energy, doing that, blaming her. This person's facing poverty. This Emperor reversed is going to be in poverty. This dominator tyrant. They're being denied a commitment with this Empress because they're an envious jerk. And they didn't persevere through anything. They put this Empress through the ringer, and they didn't they may have said, oh, I helped her. No, they didn't help at all. They didn't help this person at all. And now they're telling this Hierophant they want to reconcile, and they want to make amends, and it's like, no. The Hierophant's like, no, you're not touching that Empress. No. The Hierophant's like, no, you're not touching that Empress. Or her house. or her house. You're not touching that Empress. You're not touching her house. The wheel has turned. You cannot sabotage her. You're untrustworthy. You're out of balance, and you're not going to get forgiven. This Emperor is in the reverse. He's so out of balance. He's a liar. He doesn't have any patience. He doesn't have any humor. He's really dark. And the secret is that he targets people who have gifts of the soul that benefit him, themselves, and others. No, he's getting divorced from this Empress. Hierophant's here like, no, you're out of here. You're being disconnected from this Empress. You're unworthy of this Empress. You're unworthy of this Empress. Oh. Whoa! They're in big shit is what they're in. Untrustworthy, out of balance, no forgiveness. They cannot sabotage this Empress. They're in bad health, facing a coffin, in despair over imprisonment. This Hierophant is not having any of it. They're in despair over imprisonment, bad health, and a coffin. Yeah, they're in deep shit. They cannot sabotage this Empress. They cannot have a renewed contract with her. No. They're a false person. They're a false person trying to marry a privileged lady. They're dishonest. They're trying to marry a privileged lady. They're trying to target her because she has gifts. Their secrets are out. The Hierophant has shined a light on it. Work, occupation. They lied on her. They worked really hard, telling lies. Horrible, dark lies. To the Creator, to the Most High God about this Empress. And in the future, they want to mend the connection. They made a lot of mistakes. I wish I could right my wrongs. They're afraid of what people are going to think. And who cares what people think? Let them know what they are. Let them see the truth. This Empress deserves her new beginning. She's very disciplined. She was honoring her commitment. She was honoring her contract, even though this person and all their girlfriends and boyfriends or whatever was putting her under this wand, this Nine of Wands, for something that she was not guilty of doing. They were doing it, wearing masks, pretending to be her. Distant horizons, discipline, new beginning for this Empress. These ones are wishful thinking. They don't want to accept this. They miss their opportunity. No love. No lover. No. They don't get to be lovers with this Empress. She's not guilty. She's no longer alone. She's seen as high honor. And they can't have a courtship with her. She's not in a courtship. Yeah. No lovers. They can't. No, this Emperor reverse cannot have this with her. Cannot have this with her. There was a light shined on it. She was never out there fooling around. She was steady, providing services, honoring her contract. They're in grief because it's been seen. That was a big lie. Big lies. Lots of lies about this marriage. All the lies were told on this Empress, and they're unworthy of this Empress. They were ungrateful for everything that she did for them. And they're not going to get her unexpected income. They don't get it anymore. They don't get this money anymore. They're unworthy of it. They're unworthy of the welfare and the abundance that this main female holds. This Empress holds. They're unworthy of it. They're concerned. This mature man is concerned over the toil and labor that they did trying to steal from this innocent person. An official person under adjudication regarding this great fortune. Could be a wealthy man going on a journey. That's how he got his wealth, by targeting people. And he couldn't get a contract. They were not able to sabotage her and put her in a coffin. They couldn't put her in a coffin. She survived. And the Hierophant sees what they've done. And he knows what they've said. And he knows why. And there's a divorce here. She's no longer connected to this person. They can't have her as a lover. They can't date her. No connection whatsoever. This Emperor reversed. Nope. This Empress is high honor and very, very capable of holding her own while managing her obligations that she had with a lying sack of crap whore. Tyrant, dominating, POS. The Most High God sees it. And they're in a natural disaster. They're frustrated. The Hierophant knows they lied. And they have no love in them. Profession. Emperor reverse wants to compromise. Facing poverty because they don't have a connection with this Empress anymore. They are in poverty on their own. They have to be connected to the Empress because she's the one with the abundance. They don't have jack. They're a leech. Partying up on the services of this Empress that they accused of being unfaithful when they were the ones being unfaithful. She's okay. She's relaxing, and they're being stopped. The Hierophant's like, no, you get out of here. You're being denied. You're being stopped. Okay? You didn't help her persevere through anything. You don't get her house. You don't get this Two of Cups. You don't get to, you have a desire to reconcile, but that's only because you want the money. It's only because they want the money. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm talking to them. I get into storytelling, and they didn't live and learn. They didn't live and learn anything. They didn't persevere through anything. They had a high life, easy life while they were crapping all over this Empress. They didn't live and learn anything. They didn't persevere over anything. Their life was easy. Their life was easy while she was in the middle of this conflict, while they were fighting with her, dumping crap on her. They can't do that to her anymore. They can't do this to her anymore. They can't bring that to her love life anymore. And they can't go take part in her house. No. You didn't live and learn. They didn't live and learn anything. They didn't persevere through anything. And they're like, but what about how I feel? What about how you feel? You weren't able to sabotage the Empress. You're in despair because you're facing imprisonment, bad health, and a coffin. You're not getting forgiveness. They're not getting forgiveness. They're out of balance, and they're not trustworthy. They're getting a divorce. There is a divorce. Their secrets are all out. They target empresses and then do this to become wealthy. Their strategy is to dominate people, is to dominate empresses, is to dominate people who have gifts of the soul that benefit them and others. That's their occupation. Because they don't want to accept that everything happens in divine order. They want it right now, and they're very bitchy about it. They lie, they cheat, they steal, and they're in the dark. They're not looking at the lighter side of life. They don't have any humor, as they're very tyrannical, dominator, reckless, and evil person. That's an evil person who was targeting this Empress, and the Hierophant's like, oh, I see what you're doing here. I see your strategy is to dominate this Empress here. I see it. And maybe they did. Maybe they did. They were lying about what this Empress was doing, but their strategy, see, they were dominating her. Their job was to dominate her, and they were lying about what she was doing. They were making her do it, like laying stuff on her, causing her to have certain experiences. It's kind of like, starting a war and then sending innocent men who never wanted to hurt anybody in there and forcing them to fight for their life, to hurt or be hurt, and then judging them on that. Well, you killed. Well, they didn't give me a choice. Well, yeah, okay. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. Dominator stuff. And then this false judgment. The god of this world, whatever you want to call him, There's big shifts happening. This dominator in the reverse, this tyrant emperor in the reverse is cut off. Cut off. The Empress persevered. On her own. On her own. This tyrant didn't help her persevere at all. Oh, they're like, well, I'm disagreeing. What about the way I feel? And it's like, wait a minute. You didn't persevere through anything. You didn't go through any challenges that she went through. She was dumping everything you needed. You had everything you needed. You had enough to share with, and then enough to, pretend. While they were bullying her, pointing at her, calling her names, hiring people, convincing others that she was this and that, and then ganging up on her, beating her up, calling her names, and she didn't do anything. And she was still providing services to them while they were doing it. They're going through withdrawals. This is justice. They don't have a relationship with her. They don't have a contract with her. The Hierophant has cut them off. It's been disconnected, divorced. No more contract. They're going through withdrawals. They don't want to accept this. They missed their opportunity with a high honor person who was courageous and persistent. standing here in a Nine of Wands, not guilty, not alone, and this person cannot have a courtship with her. They're not in a courtship. So this Empress is not in a courtship with anybody. She's all alone, but she's not alone. She knows that even when she's alone, she's not alone. So she's not alone. She's not guilty. She's seen as high honor. These ones have been coming after her, and she's not alone now. The Most High God is here. She's not alone anymore. With the Hermit card shining a light on this situation, and they are in grief because it has been seen that she was not unfaithful in this marriage. They're in grief because she was not unfaithful in this marriage. It's proven. She was not out there being passionate with other people. They lied so that they could get rid of her while continuing to indulge themselves on her blessing. Living in her house probably while she loves herself. She's still trying to heal from this. If they didn't want to love her, she would love herself. And she did. And she did. We got trap here. Trap. Trap. They fell into a trap. They fell into a trap. There has been a light shined on this. They're in grief because it has been shown that this Empress was not unfaithful in this marriage, and they fell into their own trap because they sent false messages to the Hierophant regarding this Empress. She's a high value person. And she's highly loved and valued by the masculine, by the divine masculine, by the divine heavenly Father. She's highly valued. And these ones are unworthy and ungrateful little POSs. And no, you can't have her blessing. You're divorced. You're cut off. You're cut off. She will have her gain. And this is the conclusion of this. In the bottom of that, this is the conclusion. And that's a vow. That's a promise. That's a promise. And these ones are going to be lonely, and they're going to be separated from the bright energy and abundance of this Empress. Okay, so them and their friends, their girlfriends, their boyfriends, their party buddies, whoever was having a great time punishing this Empress while draining her of her essence and vitality and abundance, laughing it up, having a great time hurting her, blaming her for the things that they were doing, and she didn't do anything except persevere through their horrible, horrible treatment. She is all about relationships that are for the higher good. She is a being of love. And that's what she deserves. She deserves a soul contract that is of that. And this, the Most High sees this Emperor reverse as a pleasure seeker. He's like, you're a pleasure seeker. They're a pleasure seeker. They're a professional widower. They're a false widower. They may have said that she passed away. They could have martyred her and put her in some hellhole and said that that was a lie. And we got room in the reverse, which means this person can't tap into her mind. She's relaxed. She's okay. And this Emperor reverse is being denied a commitment with her. They're envious. They're in poverty. They are a being of poverty. There's no abundance in that person at all. They wanted to drain the Empress, and they have been draining the Empress, selling her energy and her essence and her abundance. They could be challenged because they might owe a merchant. They're an enemy. They're an enemy of this Empress. And they're haughty and they're sick. There could be an old woman. They didn't live and learn anything. They didn't help this Empress persevere through anything. They didn't persevere through anything. They martyred this Empress, and then Spirit pulled from her spiritual inheritance while she lived a life of suffering. They did, and she's the one. She became an Empress. She is an Empress, and they were pulling from all of this while she was struggling to get through it, man. Well, at least the story is known. We got sorrow in the reverse. They weren't able to cause sorrow for this Empress. She loves herself. No matter how crappy life they made life for her, she loves herself. No matter how much the world showed her that they wanted to hate her and destroy her, she loved herself. And in that time, obviously, she was connected to the Most High, seen as high honor. This one told a bunch of lies. Lies after lies after lies, and they thought they were going to get away with it, and they probably have in previous cycles. Misfortune in the reverse. They couldn't sabotage this Empress. They couldn't cause a misfortune for her house. The wheel has turned. There's no forgiveness here. They're out of balance. They're not trustworthy. They're an Emperor reversed. They're in despair because they're facing imprisonment. Maybe they are imprisoned. They're in bad health and they're facing a coffin. They've been divorced from this Empress. The Hierophant has said enough is enough. You cannot tap into this person anymore. She's not guilty. She never did any of the things that you said she did. And they fell into their own trap because everything that they've said, everything that they've done, it's all been uncovered here with the Hierophant. And there's proof that they've been lying and dominating her because they didn't want to wait for the divine to give the reward. Servant in the reverse. Servant in the reverse. They weren't of service to this Empress at all. They didn't provide any services at all. They took from her. They sold her services, her energy, her abundance for benefit, for wealth, for status, for a good time. Good time jolly. Good time Johnny. Their strategy was to dominate this person's mind. They've been dishonest. They're a pleasure seeker. They've made mistakes. They want to come forward and mend this connection. They're worried about what people are thinking because this Empress is disciplined, very disciplined, and has this new beginning coming in. She's innocent. She's faithful, and she persevered. And on the distant horizon, she's going places. They need consolation. They need consolation because they didn't get a love relationship with her. The Hierophant cut them off. They're like, I'm not even going to let you talk to her. Oh, wow. We got a priest, thief, wanting to use love, and they're unfaithful. Look, this is that priest using love. They're not faithful, and they didn't get a courtship. It's like, oh, hell to the no, the Hierophant said. You're not going to touch. You're not going to touch my high honor gal who has been in this energy because that you put her in. When she didn't do anything except serve you. And she's no longer alone. She's no longer alone. So it's, she's no longer alone. And there's evidence that everything that these pleasure seekers said about her and said that she did, it was all a lie. They fell into a trap of their own lies and disloyalty. Doctor, in the reverse, she's not sick. They couldn't make her sick. She's high value. The Hierophant feels that she is high value. And this person is unworthy, ungrateful, and they don't get the unexpected income. They can't, no. No. Wow. We go, okay. So, Empress is high value, thought of as a most precious being of love. Okay? A gift of hope, of happiness. And this soldier is sighing. They're unworthy, and they were ungrateful for everything. They were ungrateful for everything. On the bottom of the deck, we've got constancy. She was consistent and true. And those who were haughty, there's some people have some really serious attitude problems. They're waiting on this reunion. They're sick and in despair about it. They're sick and in despair about it. Oh, and then we got service of death. Somebody's going to be bringing death. Somebody's bringing death. So they're in despair. Somebody's bringing death. They're sick. They're in despair. There's a service of death happening. Service. So like they intended for somebody to put this Empress in this. Like maybe they hired somebody. Like they hired a service to do this. To do this misfortune. To sabotage and cause a misfortune for the Empress. But it didn't work. Because she was too consistent. This snob is waiting on this reunion and they're sick because and in despair because the service that they hired to cause a death didn't work. They weren't able to sabotage her or cause a misfortune. They're in despair because they're facing imprisonment and bad health and a coffin. Wow. All right, everyone. Empress has been vindicated. Lying sack of crap emperor reversed. Fell into his own trap of lies. See you on the next one.